Hello, this video is recorded by Group 13 and I want to show you how to use the basics of Microsoft Project 2013 for small simple project for students. So, let's make a start by opening up Microsoft application itself. Select blank project. First thing you want to do is to set up a starting date for the project. Go to project menu and select project information. The default date is today's date, and you can change it to any date you want for your project. For this video, we will leave the starting date as default. Let's click OK. Now, let's go to File menu. Before we go to Options, let's just briefly check how files are saved and can be shared with Microsoft Project. If we click Save As, there are 4 options. First option requires either dedicated server or online SharePoint service provided by Microsoft. As you can see, we have to assign an address for server. Information about SharePoint is in the General Analysis page of Microsoft Project. You can still save the project file either to OneDrive, a cloud drive provided by Microsoft, or you can save the file directly into your computer and use other types of cloud service for share if you want to. Share option is pretty much similar to Save As, except that you have an option to send the file via email to people related to the project. Okay, let's go to options. You won't want to change hardly any of these, but I will just show you the main pieces of it. In the General tab, which you will first see when you click Options, you can change your username, default views, and how it displays date format including time. You might have to adjust currency in Display tab and default standard rate per hour in Advanced tab if you have a budget for your project. But since this tutorial is for SCMS students, we will leave it as it is. In Schedule tab, you can adjust working hours and also how new created tasks are scheduled. Default setting for this is manual. However, we recommend you to change this into auto schedule since it is easier to learn how to create projects since all schedules will be automatically arranged. Okay, now let's click OK. Go to project menu and select change working time. Click work weeks and click detail. Weekends are non-working days in default setting, but we will change it to working days since students work on their projects during the weekend. After you finish typing in hours, you have to tick the option Set the day to specific working time in order to apply. Go to View menu. Let's add some resources before we add tasks. Click on Resource Sheet. First, type in the resource name. After typing the resource name, we can change the type of resource, whether it's a human resource or material or cost. Since we have typed in a human resource, we leave the type as work. Having a unique initial might be helpful, and max tab indicates percentage of work that can be put in, which will be usually 100% for students working on a single project. Leave the rates as it is unless the project team members are getting paid. Now, let's go back to Gantt chart view, which is a default view for Microsoft Project. And we can always come back to Gantt chart view by clicking Gantt chart from either View menu or Task menu. We now learned how to configure various options for Microsoft Project, and we also have added resources for the project, so it is time to add stages and tasks. Please note that my option is auto schedule. I will start adding tasks and durations. This is an example of simple website development project. These tasks will line up in order as soon as we assign procedures. Assign procedures is simple as we just have to type in the number of the task we want the procedures to be. Now, let's assign procedures. Project team should assign role as soon as the team is formed and continue on making project plan after roles are assigned. Research tasks start as soon as the project plan is done. Designing and coding tasks begin after researching task. Monitoring task will start along with research and coding task until the project hand-in. Project hand-in task will begin after bug check and monitoring task. After you have defined duration and procedures, you can pack them in stages by using left shift key. Now, it's time to assign resources. Click on the resource name and go to Resource tab. Click Assign Resources. Default rate is 100%. For execution and monitoring phase, let's suppose everyone participates in research phase while Brian and Jay are responsible for coding tasks and John is responsible for designing tasks. Also, project leader Jay is responsible for monitoring tasks. Let's begin with monitoring task where Jay will only use 10% of his work. For research task, both Brian and John can input 100% while Jay can only input 90% due to 10% on monitoring task unless we want him to do overtime. Once you've finished assigning resources, we now create a project template using Microsoft Project 2013. Now let's move on to the final part of the tutorial, where we will learn how to monitor and control project. Click on the Tracking Gantt chart view. If you do not see table within hours on this part, please right-click on the mouse at the edge of the table and click Work. This part is where you can actually monitor and control project. You can simply make the task complete by editing the work hours. You can also see the change in the Gantt chart. The task is 100% complete. If you have a delay in your project and have to reschedule one of your tasks, you can simply do that by right-click on the task you want to reschedule. Go to Information and move the starting date. Please note that if you move your starting date one day behind, your whole project will also be automatically rescheduled to finish one day later. I will end this video with one more feature which is quite unique to Microsoft Project 2013. You can present your project in many different views by simply clicking View buttons. View tabs are quite useful and there are a range of views available. It is also recommended to have a look at Report menu where you can also present your project status in many ways. Thank you for watching this video and have a great day.